Chris Gunzz here with Badou Jack the Ripper. Badou Jack, you're born on Halloween 1983 in Stockholm, Sweden. Fitting that Jack the Ripper's born on Halloween, isn't that right? And you have a Gambian father and a Swedish mother. You were born and raised in Stockholm. What was it like for you growing up in Stockholm, Sweden?
It was nice. It's, I had a good childhood, So I didn't start boxing until late, though. But yeah, I had a good life over there.
And you're half Gambian and you're half Swedish, so you're half black, half white, and you're living in Sweden. Did you experience racism at all there? Racism's everywhere, but is it as blatant as it could be for some people in America?
Not really.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of immigrants and, people from different countries in Sweden, so from all over the world, so not really. Like undercover racism, but,
And describe your house
over
for
here.
me. Yeah. Describe your house for me. Like, who was in it, and what was that like growing up in the Jack household, I guess?
I grew up with my mom mostly, so it was just me and my mom.
So you're an only child?
No, I got 8 siblings, but 2 older sisters on my mom's side and 6 on my dad's side.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of kid were you? You didn't start boxing until late. Were you into sports?
A little bit, but not. I mean, boxing was the only thing that I really put my mind to and worked hard for. So I started when I was 17.
Yeah, a lot of people might be surprised.
I was just about to be 18.
And you were going on 18. So a lot of people might be surprised to hear that. Usually, the people at the top of the sport start out young.
What was that?
I said a lot of people might be surprised to hear that you started out at almost 18 years old. Were you a fan of boxing as a kid growing up?
Yeah. I like boxing, but I wasn't, a big fan. I didn't know too much about the sport, but I always, loved fighting and boxing. So, I've been in the gym since the first day I walked in there, and my trainer told me I had talent, and I love to work hard. So,
And who sparked your interest in boxing? It's not the most popular sport in Sweden. So who even got you thinking about it?
A childhood friend. He just brought me to the gym. He said, "Yeah, let's try boxing. I've been working there for a year or whatever. Come with me to the gym." And yeah, basically that's how I started.
Were you good right away?
Yeah, my trainer told me I was good right away, but I'm better now.
Yeah, I hope so. Now, even though you didn't start until you were almost 18, you still managed to have 150 amateur fights, so you got busy right away. And by 2007, you were already named Boxer of the Year by the Swedish Boxing Federation. What are some of the competitions that you won as an amateur that you're most proud of today?
Winning the African qualification tournament and qualify for the Olympics, of course. But yeah, I won some big tournaments in Europe, so I faced better competition than I did in the Olympic qualification tournament. But yeah, and I'm like six-time Swedish national champion.
Wow.
And yeah, I fought a lot of good guys in the amateurs.
And when people think of boxing in Sweden, immediately and usually only former heavyweight champion Ingemar Johansson comes to mind. Of course, he's known for his fights with Floyd Patterson. He won the title and lost it back, making Patterson the first man to win a heavyweight championship back after losing it. But being involved in boxing, it allows you to travel a lot more than the average kid travels. Where are some of your favorite places that you've gotten to see because of boxing?
I would say the Olympics in Beijing, in China, was nice. I've been in Thailand, Africa, Argentina, all over the States and all over Europe. So,
And you represent.
I like Miami.
Yeah, you love Miami. So you like the warm weather, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You represented Sweden before changing the country that you represent to Gambia. What made you decide to do that?
I mean, I fought for Sweden so many times, and I was like, yeah, my dad is from Gambia. I want to represent, my people from Africa. So, and they never had no, boxer or anything like that. So,
So was it more just?
I want to make my dad proud,
And you represented it, and you went to Beijing in 2008. What was that like, being a part of that experience?
It was a great experience. The fight, I lost to a guy that was just running and holding, typical amateur style. The fight wasn't that good, but yeah, it was a great experience. Not everybody can say they went to the Olympics.
Exactly.
Not even world champions in the pro ring,
How popular? How popular is boxing in Gambia? How many guys were on the team? Were you the only guy?
Yeah, I'm the only boxer ever to win a tournament. So wow. It's a small country. I think it's only 1 million people, 2 million maybe in Gambia.
Yeah. So you got to the.
And there's no boxing really over there.
That's incredible, actually. And you got to the Olympics and you lost in the first round. Some guys are totally devastated by losing that opportunity, and some guys, especially the guys who got a late start and didn't really put a lifetime of thought into the Olympic dream, they have an easier time dealing with it a lot of times. How'd you feel when you lost in the first round in the Olympics?
That guy won the bronze, though. So, I mean, he was pretty good, but I was thinking about turning pro. That's the only thing I was thinking about, even like a year before the Olympics. So I was like, I don't like this scoring system and, this type of boxing. So I was thinking about pro all the time. And I went, first out, I was 178 pounder, and then I went down to middleweight, 165. So I was too weak, and, it wasn't my time.
Yeah, so you got over it pretty easily?
Yeah.
And what made you decide to turn pro when you did? Some guys aren't sure. Were you said you were already thinking about going pro before that even, but did you know that you were going to turn pro right away?
Yeah. I mean, I always wanted to, amateur boxing, that's just, the beginning of my career. So professional boxing, that's real boxing. It's you can't run, you can't hide, it's a real sport. So that's what I like, the rounds and, no headgear and shit like that.
And you had your first 5 fights in Sweden or its neighbor, Finland. Do you remember who you fought in your first fight and what the result was?
Yeah, it was 4-round unanimous decision. They could have stopped that fight, but yeah, it was a good experience. I didn't break my hand, but I hurt my hand real bad. So in the second round, I couldn't only use my left hand. But yeah, that guy was tough. It was a great opponent. My first fight, so yeah.
And you mentioned how much you like fighting without the headgear and the smaller gloves. That one was the 4-round distance, and then you went on to knock out the next 4 guys that you fought at home. What made you decide to move to the States? How'd you even come up with the idea, and how long did you want to do it for?
It's always been on my mind. I mean, you can't be a professional fighter in Sweden and think you're gonna go somewhere, But I think I fought on some memory show for Ingemar Johansson in 2009, I think, and Shannon Briggs was there, like a guest, special invited guest. So he liked me and he wanted me to, work with him or whatever. So I moved to Miami. So he's the guy who brought me to the States.
Yeah, and
moved to his house and trained with him, and yeah, that's how I get to know Eddie. Through him.
And you came and you hooked up with Eddie. Tell me what you what you thought of Eddie the first time you met him, and what he brought to your corner.
Yeah, we had, like, when he was a fighter, we had a similar style, like a boxer puncher. He liked to go to the body, and he liked to train hard. So we clicked right away. So yeah, good chemistry together.
Yeah, he's one of the best. Whoever did it, one of the best trainers. Now, tell me about your first fight. It was at the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City on the big. It was a pretty big card. Carl Froch fought Glenn Johnson in the main event. What was it like being a part of such a big card in your first fight in America? Was there any added pressure or nerves to have to perform? Because you come off as a pretty cool character.
No, not really no pressure. I just wanted to fight. I had a long layoff, So, yeah, I fought a guy from New York, I think. I think I stopped him in the 5th or 4th round or something like that.
Yeah, 5th round.
Well, first fight in the States, so I felt good.
Yeah, and then you left Miami and went to Vegas. Big difference between Sweden and Miami and Vegas. Not only the weather, but what made you decide to go to Vegas? Was it a business decision to go where Eddie was?
No, Eddie wasn't. He's always been in Vegas, so I didn't. So I started training with Shannon Briggs' trainer to start with for 3 months. Then I went back home. We had to, get a work visa. So then when I came back, my promoter at the time, he wanted me to move to Vegas because it's better sparring, a better trainer and stuff. So yeah, it's different from Sweden. We don't, especially the sport of boxing. There's no boxing in Sweden, really.
Yeah, and
on a professional level.
Yeah, and you mentioned how Eddie's a great trainer, but what is it about him that brings out the best in you, and what makes him so good at what he does for you during a fight and training?
He's a good motivator and good technique and defense and all of that, so it works out good for me.
And that first fight in America was against a guy by the name of Sujak, and you stopped him in the 5th round, like you said. Then you fought Timothy Hall, and you stopped him in the 2nd round on a body shot. Then you fought Eddie Caminero. I was at that fight, and it was a slow-paced fight, but you eventually stopped him in the 5th round from another body shot. You developed a reputation for going to the body more than most guys do. Why do you like going to the body like that? Is it something that you naturally did? And it's kind of like a lost fight. And say it again. I'm sorry, Badou.
Yeah, it comes naturally. I like to go to the body. Some guys that can have good chins or whatever. Well, to the body, nobody likes it. When you hit them to the body, and like they say, if you hit them to the body, the head will fall. So. Yeah, that's my thing. You can knock people out to the head too.
Yep.
But you don't hurt your hands that easy,
And that's true.
Body is softer than the head.
So is that how you developed that? You started going to the body to kind of protect your hands from being hurt?
No, even in the amateurs, I like to go to the body. So, no, I never really had some big hand problems, but I just like to go to the body.
It's a great thing to have. And after a couple more wins, you made your Showtime debut on the Showbox series against a guy by the name of Alexander Brand. He came in at 17-0. Not an easy fight. Take me back to that Alexander Brand fight. What do you remember about it?
Yeah. It was not a good night for me. I got way more talent than that guy. That guy is just strong and very, very awkward. But yeah, you can't have a good night every night. But when I'm at my best, I will stop that guy within 3 rounds. But I don't want to make no excuses, but you know, I had some rough management situations, some lawsuits, and you know, shit that I had to deal with, and yeah, it wasn't me that night, but whatever. It was a close fight, but I won. So,
did you feel like you won?
You learn.
Did you feel like the winner at the end of the fight?
I thought I landed more cleaner, you know, shots, but if you can think of it like this, I got way more talent, and I should have stopped this guy. I should have outboxed him easy, but it was a hard fight, so you can say you can take that as a loss. But you know, I got a W on my record.
That's right.
But it was a close fight, but it shouldn't have been a close fight. My fault. But, you know, he can get a rematch any day, but I don't think he won it. Well, I'm a much better fighter today than I was last year. You know?
Definitely, and I see the improvements after every fight. Every time you work with Eddie and you have another camp with him, you come in even better and more ready. You can see it. You're one of those guys who you can see what you learn and stuff. And that was the first time you went.
It's all about the learning experience, you know. Even Floyd Mayweather had a bad night sometimes, you know. Back in the days.
Emmanuel Augustus wasn't the best day.
Yeah.
That was the first time you went 8 rounds up to that point. Were you tired at the end of that one?
I was tired before that fight, but not from the fight. I'm not a 6-round fighter or 8-round fighter. You know, my last fight was 10 rounds, and I did push-ups in between rounds. So everybody that know me from the gym, I'm a distant fighter. It's especially when I like to go to the body and stuff. So the longer the fight is, it's better for me.
And were there any added nerves with you being on Showtime, making your debut? Did that play into it at all?
Say that again?
I said, were you nervous at all, being the fact that it was on Showtime and that was your first time debuting on Showtime? No. I got good nerves, though. You know, I'm never worried about nothing, really. It's going to be what it's going to be, and, you know, I just go in there and have fun. But I've been to the Olympics. I've been, you know. That's true. Through much tougher situations than a fight, so. Yeah. So it was a close call, but you still won. And then you took a break. You didn't fight again for 9 months. What was the reason why you were out of the ring for 9 months after that one?
I had some management issues and stuff, so I had to go back to Sweden, and I got back. I sat down with Floyd, and he wanted to sign me, so he bought me out for my contract, and
and
that's why I went back home. But now we good.
Yeah, and then you did sign with TMT. Floyd Mayweather put together a strong startup team, and you're a part of it. Tell me how that even came up, and how excited were you to be a part of the great Floyd Mayweather's team?
I'm really blessed. I'm thinking about it like 1 hour ago. It's crazy how it was a year ago. I thought my career was over, and now, you know, I'm blessed. I might fight for the title in a couple of fights. So really blessed. And I've been in Floyd's gym a little bit last year and the year before, and you know, he's seen me spar with Andre Durrell and a couple of other guys. So he always said he liked me. He wanted to work with me, but and I met him in LA. He said, "What do I have to do to get you signed?" So he just buy me out on my contract. He said, "Done deal. I'll do it Monday." And that's how he didn't ask how much they wanted for the contract or anything like that. He just wanted to help me. And, you know.
Wow. And after having that 9 months off, you return refreshed, and you score a knockout in the first round, a body shot no less over Jonel Tapia, and you're right back in the ring 3 weeks to the day later on the big TMT card on Showtime. Ishe Smith's title-winning fight against K9 Bunderidge. That was a big night for TMT. You fight Don Mouton, and in the 8th round, you won an 8-round decision. A successful night for the money team. What's the after party like? First big card and a great success like that. What's it like afterwards?
It was a great night. It wasn't my night. I mean, it was Ishe's night. So he's like a big brother to me. So I was really happy for him. And I think it was Floyd's birthday. I think it was the day after the fight, but like after midnight. So we had a good night. Celebrated Ishe's win and Floyd's birthday, and then we came back to Vegas and had a dinner and stuff. It was really nice.
And then you go and you take care of Michael Gabango on the huge Floyd fight against Robert Guerrero. What was it like being a part of that? A Floyd Mayweather fight atmosphere in Las Vegas. What's that like?
That was the biggest venue. I mean, the biggest card I fought on. So it was a great night. It was like a sparring session, but yeah, I got the victory. So it was fun. I was in great shape, like I always am. And a knockout win.
You keep on busy. You stay busy. Right back in the ring about 6 weeks later, and on Showtime again. This time against Farah Ennis, just a couple of weekends ago. Take me back to that fight with Farah. What was that like?
He's a good boxer. The fight was kind of boring, but it takes two to tango, and he didn't want to fight. I think he felt my power, and he was just trying to survive, But I felt good. It felt like it was 2 rounds. I could have gone 20 more rounds like that, of just trying to outbox him because he didn't want to fight, and he's not a bum, so you can really just go in there and knock him out. No, it's not that easy. It might look easy from the outside, but he's good defensively, and yeah, I just did my thing and won every round. It was an easy fight.
So you mentioned how you could have went 20 rounds like that. So I guess you felt good after going your first 10 rounds. Felt fresh.
Yeah. So it was kind of good that I didn't get the knockout. So I could have gone 10 rounds. So got that experience.
Do you feel like you're going to be getting more knockouts now as you're in the 10 rounders, because you are a body puncher? You might wear guys out for the late stoppages now. Are we going to see your KO ratio go up?
Yep. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best. I always want to win by knockout, but the main thing is to get the victory. But you can't knock everybody out. But I fight for the fans. I ain't no guy that just want to win and trying to survive like my opponent did. I want to put on a show for every fight.
Yeah, that's basically what he was doing. He was trying to survive. He couldn't do anything with you, and you won a lopsided unanimous decision. Now your record is 15-0. You're a super middleweight now, making a lot of headlines in the division. But you fought. You mentioned how you fought at 178 as an amateur, and then you moved down to 165. How tough is it at almost 30 years old to be making weight that's 10 pounds lighter than you were even as an amateur? How hard is it to make weight right now?
I fought at 165, and then for like a year or two, I went up to 78, and then back down to 65. But yeah, no, I don't got no problem making weight. I could fight at 75 too without a problem.
And you're a gym rat,
but I can make it. So we're gonna try to get a title or whatever at 168, and then we might go up to light heavy.
Yeah, you are a gym rat, so it makes it easier to make weight when you stay in shape, right? You love being in the gym.
Yeah.
You love that gym atmosphere.
I'm actually lighter today than I was the day of the fight. I gained like 13 pounds, 15 pounds or something like that the night of the fight. And I'm lighter today, so I'm always in shape.
Yeah, and you are a super middleweight. The division's pretty much owned by Andre Ward. What do you think of Andre? Some people put him above Floyd now. Are you that high on him?
absolutely not. But he's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. But he's not better than Floyd. But
it's a good division.
he is a real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. And it's a good division. Lots of people act like it's not such an interesting division, but I see it as very interesting. If the fights are made, you got good veterans, maybe slightly on the downside, but still something to offer, like Mikkel Kessler and Lucian Bute still there, and Arthur Abraham, and you got other young guys up and coming. You got the British guys like George Groves and James DeGale. You got Marco Antonio Parabon, who just gave Saki Obika all he could handle. You got Thomas Oosthuizen of South Africa, who just fought to a controversial draw against Brandon Gonzalez. Brandon's homegrown, and a lot of people think he won that fight. We gave him another. He's like another guy right on the cusp, I guess, is where you could put him pretty much. Brandon Gonzalez. Pretty much right there where you're at is Edwin Rodriguez. There's a lot of guys in the division. Who do you want to fight out of those guys that I just named? I think that a fight between you and Edwin Rodriguez would be a pretty big deal right now, and it's a fight that I'd be excited to see if it was made. Who does Badou Jack want to be in the ring with when a couple fights down the road? Call some people out, Badou.
I don't want to call anybody out, but the next fight is probably going to be against Harry Vaughn.
Oh, yeah?
May 4th. It was September 14th or 13th.
And that's a good fight, man. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that one. What'd you think of his performance against Saki Obika? Did you think he won it?
No, but I mean, he's a better boxer than Bika. But most people are. But I think Bika won the fight. But it was a close fight. And, slugfest. So it was exciting performance.
Yeah, and Andre Ward cleaned out most of the division, and Carl Froch cleaned out the rest of the veterans. Most people accept that Froch is the second best in the division. He holds the IBF title. You have Robert Stieglitz, who holds the WBO title, and of course you still have Saki Obika, who got that decision over Parabon a few weeks ago. How good is Stieglitz or Bika? Do you feel like you're ready for them almost right now? I think you must feel you're ready for Bika if you're taking on the guy he just fought, and you're ready to do that. So I think the next logical step would be a fight with a Saki Obika or someone on that level. How close are you to being ready for these guys?
We have to wait and see. First, I got this fight. It's not 100% yet, so nothing is official. But yeah, I would love to fight him first. If I feel good, then we go from there. But Floyd told me I don't need, I got so much experience in the amateur ring, and I'm about to be 30 years old, so I don't need 10 more fights to fight for the title. So we'll see, but maybe, who knows? Maybe the fight after this one, or maybe I need 2 more fights, 3 more fights. Who knows? I will take one fight at the time, so we'll see. But that guy from Germany, what's his name?
What?
WBO champion.
Stieglitz.
Stieglitz, yeah. I think I saw him once or twice. So he's not that good as the other guys you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And you got the right people behind you. You're being moved the right way. What's it like working out in the Mayweather boxing gym every day? You get the best sparring imaginable. Take me there. What's it like working out at the Mayweather gym?
First of all, it's like 100 degrees inside the gym, 90, 100, something like that. It's really hot, and we don't spar 3-minute rounds. We spar 5 or 6-minute rounds with fresh, sparring partners coming in, and we call it the doghouse. Floyd is there training every day, so get an a little, motivation when he works out. So yeah, I love this gym. It's like my second home.
And you get to see Floyd work out every day. What's that like? Must motivate you. Tell me about watching Floyd work out.
Yeah, that man is a beast. That's why he's so rich and so good. his work ethic, but I love it. So you get a lot of motivation seeing how hard he works, and put a little bit of that stuff into, my game, and yeah.
What do you think?
Sweden, I can tell you this.
Yeah. What do you think you have to improve upon for the next level up in competition? You could never be content, and you can never stop learning. You can't. Just what else do you want to work on before you get to that next level and before you get in the ring, and not only get those fights but to be able to win those fights? What do you want to work on?
I work on everything, but especially maybe the more defense and head movement. But I established my good jab, and my body shot. I got power in both hands. So we work on everything every day. So I'm trying to get better for each fight. But you don't have to rush anything. But that's if you look at my fight with that guy Alexander Brandon, my fight today, it's we slowly getting better at everything.
Yeah. When is the fight with Parabon being talked about being made?
On Floyd's undercard.
Okay.
On Floyd Canelo.
Yeah.
They were the Canelo.
What do you think of that?
But it's nothing official yet. But I think it's either going to be on the 13th, the day before they have a show at the Cosmopolitan, I think. So we'll see. It's nothing official yet, but they've been talking about this opponent, so I'm ready.
No. What do you think of the Floyd Canelo fight? I wonder who you're picking in that one.
Yeah, Floyd, of course, but it's not just because he's my promoter. I think styles make fights, and I think he got a little too much experience for Canelo. And he looked really sharp in the gym. The first day when he came back, like 2 weeks ago, man, he looked better than he did in the fight with Guerrero. So.
Wow. Now you're a big guy. Do you spar him at all?
No, I never sparred. I'm a little too tall or too big.
Yeah. How do you get treated if you go back to Sweden right now? Are you a household name there yet? Do all the boys want to be you, and all the girls want to date you?
A lot of people, sending me emails and, Facebook messages and, saying that they're really proud of me and stuff. But, yeah, boxing is not that big in Sweden, so I'm not a superstar over there, but everybody in boxing knows me, so.
Yeah, I think if you win a title, it's going to be a more popular sport there. I think there's going to be a lot of people there wanting to be Badou Jack.
Yes, for sure.
You're getting more and more famous after every fight. Do you find yourself getting more recognized when you go out?
Yeah. It's all because of Floyd.
Yeah.
He giving us guys a lot of exposure, and he wants us to be successful. So yeah, absolutely.
What do you do? You fought a couple weeks ago. What do you do when you're not preparing for a fight? What's Badou Jack like to do when he's not boxing?
I took a week off after this fight, so I started Monday again. So I had a week off. I was just tired, so I've just been hanging out with my friends, watching movies. I didn't really do anything, but after the fight, the May 4th fight, we went to Miami for a week. So he took all of his fighters to Miami. So we went to the beach, to nightclub, to comedy shows, basketball games. We did it all. So it was nice.
So you got to see the Heat play in the playoffs?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
on his yacht, and we lived like superstars for a week.
And Badou Jack the Ripper getting more fans after every fight. What do you have to say to your growing legion of fans out there?
Thanks to everybody that supported me, and tune in to Showtime or whatever it's going to be on September 14th. And yeah, see me go to 16-0.
That's it. 11 knockouts, right? And
Yep.
how do they get at you? I'm sure you're tweeting. You're on Twitter, right?
Yeah, they can follow me on Twitter at Badou Jack, BADOUJACK, or Instagram. Same thing.
Follow Badou Jack. One of the best young guys in the game, TMT's Badou Jack the Ripper. Thanks for your time, Badou. Can't wait to see you in the ring again, my man.
All right, thank you, man.